Hey everyone, Wiggles here. This will be a quick guide showing you how to play Groot in Marvel Rivals. I'll make this video short and sweet, going over his skills, how to play him, and how to counter him if he's being an issue. Alright, let's just jump right into it. So overall, Groot is a main tank in this game. Out of all the main tanks, he's probably the most hybrid to be a damage dealer. The whole idea with Groot is that you have two different playstyles that you can switch between during the game, depending on the comp that you're versing and how the game's going. So you have that aggressive Vanguard style where you're trying to push up, trap enemies at the walls, and lead the team to the fight. And then you have defensive control. And this is where you want to be zoning off objectives, where you want to be making sure people can't go through choke points, and ultimately just turn this battlefield into your own playground. If the enemies don't shoot down your walls, they can start stacking up, giving you a lot of extra edge in the fight. So yeah, mostly you're going to be switching between those two forms of trying to act more aggressive, getting extra damage off walls like that, or playing more defensive, helping your healers out and zoning off any kind of threat to your team. So now let's break down Groot's kit. So his main attack looks like it's a melee, but it's actually a projectile. It has a range of 20 meters. So if you're at 21, it won't be hitting at all. This attack can start doing a ton of damage, especially once you start stacking it up with the wall. Most people play this by holding the primary fire, but I actually suggest tapping it. If you get used to the fire rate, you'll end up getting way more accurate with your shots. Tap for the accuracy, especially since there's no splash and a slight delay between each hit. Next up is Spore Bomb. This is great for poking your enemy and getting a lot of ult charge. The cooldown's amazing, it's only 6 seconds, and this can set up some really nice combos. Sending this out at the same time as using your ult will definitely do a lot of damage. One of your best ways to use a Spore Bomb on defense is when they're coming out of the entrance right at the very start. That way you'll get some extra percentage right before the game starts. Sometimes building out walls like this can help you get to a good vantage point so you can throw out a Spore Bomb. And then you have your walls. So first you have Thornlash wall. This is the wall that can go a little bit further. It has about 20 meters range. You can adjust the angle to not be straight up like that. You can make it more like stairs, or you can make it a platform so you can stand on top of it like that as well. But these walls have 250 HP and they have a really cool feature about them. Anytime you attack an enemy that's standing right near it, your walls will attack that enemy as well. It's actually pretty crazy because you do 65 damage and the wall does 60. So you're doing 125 damage per attack anytime a wall is right next to the enemy. So this is a really great way to get extra damage on the enemy during fights. Something cool too is that the damage stacks per wall. So if you get somebody stuck in 3 different walls at the same time, they'll take a ton of damage. There's a couple cool ways to use these walls. One of the best ways to do it is by trapping an enemy that's running backwards. If somebody's overextended too far and they're within the range of how far you can put out a wall, you can build a wall right behind where they're going and they'll get stuck. If you hold the build button and then move it to the side, you'll be able to build 2 walls at the same time, making the deployment of the walls just that much faster. So always try to catch people out like this. Another great thing to do is separate the enemy healers from the enemy team with these walls, because healers in this game can't do much damage, so it takes longer for them to kill these walls, making the enemies not get nearly as much healing as they would have. And lastly, with these walls, you can look right underneath you and go straight up like that. You can keep doing it and go up again. Then you can get up to platforms you normally wouldn't be able to reach. And then you have your Ironwood wall. Now this wall is also great for trapping enemies, but sometimes putting it behind you during the fight is really useful to do as well. Pretty much putting it anywhere the enemy won't kill it. Because anytime that you attack with this thing up, you're getting healing at the bottom. The healing goes up to 250 extra HP, and it's that shield at the bottom. It's the blue little bar on my health. But this makes you get so much extra healing, people don't expect it at all. When you start combining this with the other walls, Groot completely controls the battlefield. And then lastly, you have Strangling Prison. Now this is an amazing ult. I almost just go Groot just to get this ult. It ties everybody in place and roots them there for a few seconds. It's great for separating out any kind of healer or any kind of really high value DPS on the enemy team. And unless there's some kind of defensive ult up, it pretty much secures a kill. I try to aim to get about 3 people with the ult, but sometimes getting less is still worth it if it's a really good kill. This is one of the best ults to use as a combo ult in this game, so make sure you communicate. Using your mic can really get more value out of this ult. There's so many other great ults that you can combo with this, so I highly suggest you try that. Couple things to know is that your main projectile attack can't crit. You have regular melee attacks, and your third attack has this really cool swing that knocks them up like that and knocks them back. The Ironwood wall can't go nearly as far as the Thornlash wall can. And make sure you have this right mouse button off cooldown because the poke on it is insanely strong. So there's a couple different things that you can do with your walls. If these were healers trying to heal them, make sure you cut off the healing. That's one of the best things to do. You can also trap enemies, so if he was running away, you can trap right behind so he can't run any further. You can even imprison people. And on that note, you're also able to imprison yourself. So if you're holding the point and there's a lot of pressure and the enemies aren't focusing on you, you're able to make a little prison like this. This gives you just a little bit more protection. Wall stalling definitely isn't much, but it can help. Something important to know about these walls is it doesn't have to be you that's doing the damage. Any teammate that does the damage will trigger the wall to do the damage to the enemy. So getting many of these different walls out on the battlefield at the same time can really help improve your damage over time. One other thing to know about the walls is if you put it right in front of a payload and a payload's running right in front of it, it's going to instantly break the wall, pretty much ruining the cooldown for the wall. So there's so many different strengths to Groot, and he's really strong. I'm going to go over a game I just played, showing you my thinking and my strategy behind everything. But before I do that, I'm going to go over the weaknesses and how to beat a Groot. So even though he's strong, he isn't invincible. Groot has really low mobility. He's a really slow character. Flankers and other high mobility characters can really destroy him if he's overextended in any kind of way. He struggles against airborne enemies and some splash enemies like Squirrel Girl. Since Groot doesn't have any kind of shield other than the walls, he relies on soaking damage. And soaking damage makes him healer dependent. Without some kind of consistent healing, Groot can die fast, especially if you're playing aggressive. And he's really team reliant too, so any kind of poor wall can really throw off a team member. Making sure you're not cutting them off in any kind of way is really crucial to win the fight. So some main ways to counter Groot is by using splash damage, by using a vertical pressure, by going above and attacking him that way, by flanking him, getting behind and other angles that he wouldn't expect, or just killing his healers, because no heals equals a dead tree. Since any kind of damage triggers the wall to attack, one great way to deal damage is by using your main attack and then your melee. Switching these up at the same time over and over makes you do way more damage. And using this is great too because every third melee makes the enemy go straight up in the air like that. So now I'm going to go over a game I just played as Groot. In this game I knew I was going to be the main tank because we had a Captain America that was going to be diving in hard with the Spider-Man, and we had 3 healers. So I got here a little bit late. Ideally you want to get in as soon as it starts so you can set up a good spore bomb right at the start, because anytime you hit somebody with a spore bomb you get multiple percentages, and when you hit multiple people with that you get a lot of percentage. So at the very start there I was just closing off the entryways on the left hand side, making it so the enemy had to go through a certain way. I was playing as the main anchor for the team as well. Anytime I saw my team going forward, I would go forward. Anytime I saw they needed a break, I would go back a little bit, just try to help them out. But also sticking with the healer is really important. At this part of the fight, I was just trying to get my percentage up as much as possible so I can get out that really good strangling prison. So I got hit with a really big ult there, but I got saved with that defensive ult. Trying to look for a good spot to use my ult, and here I'm looking for at least 3 people. Yeah, I missed the Jeff here. I tried to get the Jeff, but I got the 2 tanks here. It really helps just getting that extra damage off so the enemy healers have to get them back up. And using this can definitely just really help put on a lot of extra pressure for the enemy healers, helping you win that fight. It is important to note that you're able to block ults with your walls as well, so always know that you can do that just to save you or your team. But at this moment, I knew that Groot has a really good positioning because whenever they're caught in any kind of corridor like this where your wall can pretty much fit that whole spot, Groot becomes really strong. So I tried to separate them from their Jeff here and their other healer by putting down the wall right behind them. You could do 2 just so the healers definitely can't break it, but constantly doing that throughout the fight will definitely help you get some good picks. Right after that, there's a lot of pressure on the point. It looked like we might have lost it, but our team completely pulled through. I was just trying to separate off their DPS at that point, but then our Iron Man got that awesome triple kill. This was a really big fight on the main point here. They ended up winning it, killing all of us off. and starting to push the point a little bit further. As I was coming back to the point, I saw that I had my ult up, so I really wanted to set it up nice. I tried to get them in that little prison, making them take way more extra damage. Then I saw the rocket out of position, and I just wanted to kill him right away. Now we're on the attack side. Squirrel Girl was punishing us, so I put that wall up there right at the very start. Then I noticed the Punisher doing a ton of damage with his turret, so I wanted to try to poke him down as much as possible. And then here, they started to get a lot of damage taken, so I wanted to wall off the healers just a little bit, and those stairs is one of the best places to do it. It seemed like this was a big brawl, so I put down my Ironwood wall and started attacking as much as I could. I also always love to wall off enemies like this because it makes them just that much less effective. And when you do that, it makes the enemy take some routes they wouldn't normally take, making others on their team overextend like this rocket. So you can get some extra kills just by throwing off the enemies that way. So this is a really big fight, but ultimately all of us died. We had to go back to base and restart. Since this spot is so great with Groot, I was just trying to wall people off as much as possible, trying to block off that healing and getting those picks. Because they have a really long walk compared to us, so getting any kind of pick is super high value. At the very end here, I pretty much just tried to do as much damage as possible, getting those left mouse buttons and getting the Spore Bomb off. Alright, that's it from me. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please drop a like on this video to tell YouTube it's a good video so we can share it to more people like yourself. And please subscribe to my channel to see more great Marvel Rivals tutorials just like this. Have a great day everyone. Cheers.